Hello and welcome to the Cannes Parallel Challenge 2024. My name is Arno.
And my name is Matt, and today we're going to be talking about Gilles Lellouche's films Sink or Swim and his new film Beating Hearts.
First things first, Gilles and Claude Lellouche are not related. The filmmaker of A Man and a Woman is not related to Gilles Lellouche. Gilles Lellouche is much better known as an actor, actually. You may have seen him in films like Little White Lies, C'est la vie, Bac Nord, and even Dupieux's Smoking Causes Coughing. He even played Obélix in a recent Astérix film, but we're trying to forget that one. But even before acting, he was actually directing short films. And his major break as a director indeed was Sink or Swim, Le Grand Bain in 2018, which received one of the biggest standing ovations in Cannes history and was one of the most successful French films of the 2010s. Sink or Swim is the only film in our parallel lineup that I have seen, but that Matt hasn't seen. But Gilles Lellouche doesn't have a huge selection of feature films yet, and this was the only one selected at Cannes, so this just felt right for us.
Sink or Swim is the quintessential sports comedy. It is the type of movie Peter Farrelly would make, but it's better. It follows a depressed middle-aged man who joins a synchronized swimming team to meet new people his age, and finds that all of them, frankly, are depressed and out of shape, and yet together they find purpose in their sport with the help of a coach who is just a little too intense. This is wonderful. This is one of my biggest surprises. Arno, you first recommended that I watch this film all the way back in 2018, and I went, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I'll check that out. And then I didn't. And now here I am saying this film is phenomenal.
We know each other's tastes a little bit. This is very Matt-core.
Oh, totally. I like a good, happy movie that has some style, that has some good jokes. Can I enjoy an art house film? Absolutely. I have versatility, but I do love a good mainstream comedy like this one.
And just like a mainstream comedy does, the story here is really basic. And Lellouche doesn't add all that much substance to the material. There are some interesting things though about masculinity, about midlife crises, and about virility in sports, but it's still very much a straightforward, feel-good sports film. But the style in this film, and the heart, and the cast, which are all giving it their all, except, the one Tamil guy who isn't really giving that much of a role. And those locations, props to them for deciding to shoot a lot of this in Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes. You have these incredible settings when they go out jogging, and it's not yet another film taking place in the Paris suburbs.
What Gilles Lellouche does to this, what he brings to the material, the heart, the energy, from the first 5 minutes, you can just tell that this is a filmmaker who is not going to settle for a funny script. He is going to go above and beyond to bring something fresh, and even though the story might not be anything special, everyone on board is treating this film as though it is the most special thing they've ever been a part of. It reminds me a lot of The Full Monty, both in the heart and the style of it all, the way that it focuses on these out-of-shape men who kind of find some new semblance of joy in life, but it also just oozes this compassion for these characters. It shows their depression, it shows the lives that they're living, what they're going through. It asks us to smile with them as they push through adversity and triumph. It's earnest in a way that few films are. It doesn't go for the low punches. It really makes us care for these people.
The character of the rocker who still hopes to have his rise in fame, you don't have this character and this character arc in some of these touching scenes, especially with his daughter who's trying to tell him it's not going to happen, in an average comedy. The main character of this film is Mathieu Amalric, but proportionally speaking, he barely feels like a lead because all these characters are given so much time, and this really is an ensemble cast, and they all have their own unique problems, whether it's Virginie Efira's alcoholism, Leila Bekti's handicap, or Guillaume Canet's anger management. But at the same time, you have this explosion of style, whether it's the aspect ratio in the circle and the square from the beginning, the silhouettes as they walk through the parking lot, the overlay montage as they make their way through Norway. You can tell that Gilles Lellouche had some research in order to create a language for this film.
And I think a lot of the time, the very best films that we see come out of the mainstream are from filmmakers who refuse to just be good enough, who want to do justice to the audience's time and not just make a film that spends that time, but earns it. And Sink or Swim absolutely does this, and I love this film for that.
So L'amour OUF, yes, because I refuse to call this film Beating Hearts, because L'amour OUF is a significantly better title, and what it means is crazy love, except that in France, a typical way of using slang is reversing a word. So instead of fou, which means crazy, it's now ouf, so it'd be like saying Izark love, which I think is just hilarious.
I like it more imagining it being one of the Minecraft guys going oof.
Wait, it's not Minecraft, it's Roblox.
Oh, isn't it? I thought it was Minecraft, the villagers. They go oof, oof.
No, that's
I don't know. I've never played Minecraft, so I don't know.
Pro gamer moment.
Yeah.
L'amour OUF is a major undertaking. It's a $32 million budgeted 3-hour film that takes place over 3 decades and can be described as an ultra-violent musical romantic comedy. What the hell is this?
It's awesome. That's what it is.
Apparently, Lellouche has been dreaming of making this film since the early 2000s, but knew he wouldn't have the money. But with the success of Sink or Swim, he could get it. The story seems to revolve around a doomed romance between a criminal and a wealthy girl when the criminal goes to jail for 12 years. Audrey Diwan co-wrote the film, and the film has just as impressive a cast as Sink or Swim, namely Adèle Exarchopoulos and François Civil in the 2 leads. I genuinely don't know what to think about this one. Is this a serviceable mainstream French blockbuster that shouldn't have been in competition? Or is this Lellouche putting all his pieces on the board and doing his megalopolis? Either way, I struggle to see this win a prize unless it's exceptional.
Well, I'm going to say right now, this sounds less like Megalopolis and a lot more like One from the Heart, another one of our parallel films. It sounds wild and audacious, and I could absolutely see it be a complete unmitigated disaster. Or I could also see it be a surprise that just blows everyone away and becomes an international sensation with style that just carries over to the American mainstream in a similar way to how Amélie had a chokehold on every independent film in America for like 6 years after release.
In the next episode, we go to India with Payal Kapadia's first film, A Night of Knowing Nothing, and her first narrative film, All We Imagine as Light.
Come learn about what made this the first competition film from India in 30 years.